Hey everyone, I'm Steven.
And I'm April. And this is your weekly dose of what's new, what matters, and what's changing in the world of ABA and ethical business leadership.
We're live every Monday to bring you the headlines, insight, and honest conversation you won't hear anywhere else.
And if you're catching this on Tuesday, welcome to the podcast version, where we turn real-time updates into lasting takeaways.
This is the ABA Business Leaders News Update, powered by 3Pi Squared.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to ABA Business Leaders News, brought to you by 3Pi Squared. I'm April, and this guy over here is Steven. It's been a Monday morning. Welcome. It is August 18th. And we just recorded, or we just did the Facebook Live that we do on Mondays to talk about the news. And as we were talking about the second article, we realized, this isn't correct. This summary we have here that I'm going off of, well, Steven was realizing this summary is not correct. Something's not right here. I need to go back and check this.
Yeah.
And so as soon as we ended the live, and it was like a short one too. It was like only a 15-minute because it would just, I don't know, something didn't feel quite right for Steven. And so we double checked everything and went back to the article that Steven wrote, and he was like, yeah, the summary is just off. It had some wrong information on there. So we deleted that from the Facebook Live and YouTube.
Yep. We
deleted those. So if you caught those, sorry about that. But we did want to come on and just we'll redo the news for you guys who weren't even there in the first place. But then for you guys who, those of you who count on listening on a Tuesday or through podcast form, because you're not getting up at super, super early on a Monday morning to listen to us talk about ABA news. Mm-hmm. That's completely understandable. So we're going to go back through the articles, and sorry about that, but it's really important for us to admit any mistakes that we made and to clear it up, because who wants there's enough misinformation out in the world. So
for sure.
We don't want to be part of that. So our first article is about North Carolina. So North Carolina Medicaid cuts. They are proposing a 3% cut across all ABA providers. I think they visit like three.
No, it's like across the board.
Across the board.
Up to 10%.
And then up to 10% for ABA providers starting October 1st, 2025. That's just a few weeks away.
Yes.
So yeah, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a shortfall in the budget because of, it is what it is. And I could get into the reasons why it's ridiculous, but it is, that's just the way it is. And we're seeing this all over the country. This isn't just North Carolina. Colorado was just going through it. Nebraska just went through it. We're seeing other states. I think it's Wisconsin. They were like, wow, this ABA thing is really exploding. So there are a lot of Medicaid programs in states where ABA is exploded, and that's good news for ABA companies and the children that need the services. But this is something that I think that state representatives was not expecting how much impact this would be. And Washington State, I believe, just cut their rates as well. So this is just, this is going to continue. This isn't the end. So, making sure, going back to the basics is something that I would highly recommend. So, knowing what the minimum rate that you can accept is, right? We talk about this when you're starting, but this is something that you should always, in your forecasting, figure out, like, okay, wages have increased, my lease has increased, my practice management software has increased. Now what is the minimum rate that I can accept? so that you can continue providing quality services and not get in that predicament where a lot of ABA providers find themselves about, do I provide a billable hour of tech, or do I give them the training that I know that they need? So, and this is tough. It shouldn't be this way. Unfortunately, for many, it is, when you're accepting rates that you shouldn't be accepting. So, we've talked about that before, like subsidizing, right? So, like one really good rate is subsidizing other really terrible rates, and we just, as providers, we really cannot do that. Coming from someone ran a company for a while, accepted rates that we shouldn't for a while, that was, so I can understand. And I know, April, you probably would say, like, you just want to help everybody, right? And you would do it for free, but we can't do it for free, and we can't expect our staff to do it for free.
Yeah, no, not for free. Yeah. We have to pay our staff, and we have to be able to train our staff and pay them for that training.
Yeah. And so if you're accepting a rate where you're losing money on every hour that you bill, then you're doing it for less than free, right?
Right.
So
what can you do as an ABA business leader, especially if you're in North Carolina and you're hearing this and you're like, oh man, there's not much time. So one of the first steps would be to know where you're spending your money, revisit your budget, look and see what these cuts will do to you. Like, or do you accept how much of your income is from Medicaid, and what is this going to do, and what cuts can you make within how you spend, and just knowing the numbers, like what concretely, what does this mean for you, and then start making those decisions. I don't know. Do you have that list of what ABA is it within this article? I'm sure it is, but
sorry, what?
The recommendation.
Oh yeah, so I don't have the bullet points, but so I would highly recommend reaching out to CASP. CASP has been doing some amazing work, and they, I believe, have been able to help some states decrease these cuts or eliminate them completely. So that would be something that I would do immediately. Join CASP, talk to them, see what they're working on. If maybe you can help, right, with that. Reaching out to other companies in your area, what are they going to do? Reaching out to the North Carolina ABA organization, talking to your families, so that they can talk to state representatives and say, like, find something else to cut, like maybe a few bombs or something like that. Those would be the things that I would be doing. We really have to come together, and, in some ways, forcing ABA companies to work together is great, right? Because maybe there's not enough of us working together.
Well, and that's, dear, if you caught the live this on Monday morning, that's one thing that I reminded everybody of, is to, like, how important collaboration is with other providers in our area, and not just program wise. And how do we run the programs? What does our day-to-day of our agencies look like? But hey, as we're all ABA providers who all pride quality, yet we do things differently. How can we band together, to work together in our community? What can we do? And even talking, beyond that, what are you doing that's working? What are you doing that's not working? Even just even if it's just on the business end of things, right, first, to get that relationship going, right? Yep. Versus judging how we all do things differently, and that's wrong. We know that there's quality ABA out there. We know that there's subpar ABA out there, but the more that we're getting together and talking and working together, I feel like it can only help. And it helps you to find those other ABA providers in your community that are like-minded and share values that can band together and what is it? What is that? Numbers are like the more people you have, like the more difference you're going to make essentially. Yeah. So,
all right. So next story, and this is the one that I got completely wrong. So this is the Deer Oak settlement. So there's Deer Oak Behavioral Health Solutions. They settled with the OCR, Office for Civil Rights. And what happened is that I guess they were using like a pilot app, and they had uploaded some patient information to this pilot app, and there was not the correct security in place. And so the information got cached on the internet, and it exposed a bunch of people's information. So it was I think around 2,000 clients were exposed. This was back in 2023, and they just recently settled. And you can check out the full article on our website from Health and Human Services, what they found. And so, what could have helped probably would have been a penetration test. Definitely a risk analysis would have also helped. So like for all of you out there, maybe you're not making your own app, right? But you may be switching, right? Maybe you're switching practice management softwares, even though it's very difficult, and you're worrying about, okay, how do I get my session notes completed? And does it have everything that I want? You really should be doing another risk analysis, at least on that portion of your systems. Like, does this provide all the same safety that the last one did? Does it have multi-factor authentication? Does it have access logs, right? Like, do you have a business associate agreement in place? So all of these things really need to be done, right? So assuming most of you are not, like I said, creating your own thing. If you are creating your own thing, then absolutely a penetration test is probably needed. And as you get larger, there are other reasons why you may want to do a penetration test. But for most smaller ABA companies using Microsoft and, I don't know, Central Reach or something like that, there really isn't a need for that. You're buying services, and that's kind of their job to take care of the penetration tests on the servers. You just have to set up the systems so that they're appropriately secure. So like things like not sharing passwords, right? Like you can't have all 25 of your staff have the same username and password, and you just change it every once in a while, right? That's not something that I would recommend. So that's really it, right? Is just making sure that you have things in place, right? So you have multi-factor authentication, you have access controls. So not every tech needs to see every client. They don't need to see all their information. Same with your BCBAs, right? And then maybe your admin too, right? Depending on what they're doing. Billers may need all the information, but somebody that works on schedules probably doesn't. Making sure that you are using secure portals, right? Making sure that you have encryption, and then making sure, like, this is the one where they seem to get a lot of people, is just not having a risk assessment completed and not having current business associate agreements. And just make sure you have all those policies in place. If you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, we can certainly help with that. The other thing that I wanted to mention on the previous article was, reducing expenses may be important for some of you right now. And we did just start a billing service. So if you're paying 5 or 6%, I was talking to someone last week, and they said the biller wanted 8%.
Wow.
So that's that biller really thinks highly of themselves, right? So what we're doing is we're trying to be a partner. We're trying to you can use us as long as you need us, and then when you're ready to train your staff, we'll we'll be there for that too. So, our billing rates are 2.99% right now. So if this would interest you, please reach out to info@3pisquared.com. And then, if you do need a HIPAA security officer, everybody needs one, right? But maybe you are kind of doing it like I kind of did it, and you're like, I don't even know what I'm getting myself into here. And you just want to consult with a HIPAA security officer, reach out. We have an amazing, and he's probably going to be on the podcast, probably going to do some training for us, which is exciting. And, but he does offer all 3 Pi Squared, fans, I guess, 10% discount on his HIPAA services. So if you need a Google or Microsoft set up correctly, or you need someone to go through your risk assessment with you, that would be a great place to start. And that's it. So I apologize for the mistake. As soon as we started rating it, I was like, this is wrong. And during the live, I just kind of froze. And so that was my bad. And so appreciate the opportunity to fix my mistake. And thank you for your time.
All right. Well, that was news for today. And we can't wait to see you back here next week.
See ya. Bye. Don't miss an update. Sign up for weekly alerts at news.3pisquared.com. It's the easiest way to stay informed and ahead.
If you found this helpful, please rate, review, and share the podcast. It helps us reach more people who care about ethical, sustainable ABA.
We'll see you next Monday live or Tuesday right here on the podcast. We're April and Steven, and this is ABA Business Leaders News Update.